So it's an honor and privilege to have an opportunity to serve alongside your founder. And he's a stand for you more than you ever realized. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's give Stuart Ross a very, very warm and boisterous welcome. Let's keep it fun. Stuart, come on up here, bud.
Well, welcome everybody to the Great Wolf Lodge. This is the first time we've picked a venue quite like this one. Justin wasn't the owner, or isn't the owner. He was actually born here. On the toilet chute, you're going to see that one. It goes. He was born a sheep, but he's a sheep in wolf's clothing, as you'll come to see as he comes up later. But jokes aside, wolves, sheep. When I really think about our mission here, the vision, it was never really about affiliate marketing, digital marketing, online marketing, customer avatar, or any of that stuff. The root of our vision was always really to do with helping people get out of a system that is designed for sheep. A system that's designed for sheep and give them the power to become wolves. And that was the only way I could figure out a way to introduce the Great Wolf Lodge. There were other reasons. We're going to have some fun. I have made a decision. Who's been to Momentum Day before? Oh, phew. I thought I saw every hand go up when we said whose first event was this, but a few of you were lying. Let me see who is here for the first time. First event. What? Now I'm really confused. So I'm really going to... We're not going to be doing slides. We're not going to be doing any form of presentation. I'm just going to really meet you guys where you're at, which is going to mean we're probably going to have a little bit of interaction. This morning, we've been covering sort of quite a diverse range of topics, everything from your inner child right through to marketing and your customer avatar and who you're here to serve and that kind of stuff. What I want to do is really give you utter clarity in terms of how you can just use all of these ideas and actually make them matter in the stages that you're at within your business. Can I see a raise of hands? Who has yet to make their first sale online? Okay, so I'm going to guess that's definitely more than half the room. Who here has made more than 10,000 online? It's got a few of you. Congratulations. There is no way of me putting this without sounding negative, so I'll say it as it is. We've been doing this since 2010. We've done a lot of Momentum Days. I don't even know actually what Momentum Day this is. For me, the thing that I found and struggled with most being in a results-based business, co-CEO with Jay, building this vision, making this happen, one of the things that has definitely been a real struggle for me, and I'm just going to be totally honest and transparent, is knowing the statistics of failure. If you're going into a business of helping people get results and change their lives, it's one thing changing your own life. It's a hell of a lot harder having other people change their lives. And obviously it goes without saying there's only so much that we can do. There's only so much we can do with our products, our trainings, our events. But also I would say it's been a steep learning curve for us, and we're getting better. We're getting better at what we're doing. And for me, one of the things that I think is most important when you're going into a new venture, and you're serious about changing your lives, is having some pretty reasonable perspective in terms of what is it going to take. Because I scratch my head still to this day, and I cannot figure out why so few people follow through on their dreams and aspirations. And I'd be lying if I was to say I was really that much clearer than what I was back in 2010. I've maybe got a little bit more tolerant of it, maybe somewhat take less accountability than what I did at some points. There were times that I questioned even doing this. You get those emails, struggling, quit, failing. It's a lot of pressure. Is anyone in here a coach or a mentor? A few of you. It's tough, isn't it? It takes a lot to really persevere. And there have been times where I've thought, do you know what, Stu? Sometimes it's just easier to be the affiliate. And just let the others figure it out. But we're a little bit different to that because I know that the reason that we are where we are is the culture within our community, and you don't leave it to us. We're a community. We're in it together. And so I believe there are many of us in this journey that are actually sharing the burden of what comes with being in a results-based business. And so if you're here because you really want to change your life, if you're really here because you want to do something that really matters, you want to gain more freedom, have more options, create the life that you really want to create, we've got to be serious and we've got to be really adult. As Alex put earlier, I'm going to be your Mr. Captain Hook today. And I'm not going to fluff around it because statistically, in the business world, 80% of you in this room are going to fail in your first year. That's the statistics of business. What's even more frightening is it's going to be over 90% by 5 years, and it's going to be 97% within 10 years. Said I was going to be the bearer of bad news, the wolf of bad news. But I'm a big believer it doesn't need to be that way. And we've proven it doesn't need to be that way because we see more and more in terms of the percentage of people who get results and succeed. And if there is one thing I can say about our community, our culture, our vision, our mission, we're not just about spitting out the next entrepreneur. Very proud of some of the partnerships that have come out of this community, people that have gone on and found careers working for others, but have gained clarity through their journey and experiences here to create more of an awareness around what they really want in life. And as you start to see our vision materialize and really develop to where we want it to go, you'll see we're much more than about spitting out an affiliate marketer, an entrepreneur, a business owner. Because really, in all reality, it's not about quitting the job. It really isn't. Because let me ask you this, if your job and your career was fulfilling, it gave you the type of money that you want, you woke up every day fulfilled, you wouldn't even be looking to get out of the job. So the answer isn't entrepreneurship. It's really not. It's about not being a sheep and having the courage to go for the things that you really want to go for, but above all, really knowing what that even is in the first place. Anyone in here pick a career because that's what their parents wanted them to do? Few of you. Who in here can relate to this idea of picking a career as a means to an end? You kind of were quite good at it at school. Oh, mortgage broking sounds all right. There'd be a lawyer, a doctor, in the service, whatever. There's so many people pick careers based on it being a means to an end. So let's explore that a little bit. What exactly do I mean by means to an end? Well, quite often in today's Western world, it's money. Money is the means. And we live in a world today where we just assume money is going to solve all of our problems. If I could just make X amount, life would be great. Be able to do that dream vacation. Be able to afford that beautiful home. Put the kids into the school that they want to go to. But what happens when you reach that point? You've got the 15,000 a month coming in, but you wake up every day unfulfilled. Then what? Take it out on the spouse? Too busy for the kids? Where did it all go wrong? Why am I feeling depressed? And the truth is that it doesn't come easy for a lot of us to figure out what we really want. There are the anomalies, and it's the minority of people that I was born to do this. I was born to be a pianist, and they go on and be the best pianist in the world or one of the top 1% and make a career of it. And the truth is, in reality, not every single hobby or interest is necessarily what we want to turn into our careers either. I have a lot of hobbies. I skateboard, I cycle. I don't want to make money skateboarding and cycling. I just want to skateboard and forget about money. Don't even want to think about it. So I don't go on and build and sell electric skateboards because that's what I enjoy. I just do it. In fact, it's my meditation. I don't meditate. My meditation is going out on my skateboard and doing something that, completely takes my mind off life. Time just flies by. Problems aren't there. Feel good. Fresh air, nature. Yeah, Alex actually helped me uncover one of my reasons why I'm such an outdoor person. And that was as we started to dig into my timeline and really look at, my childhood. Really, the sort of inner child was kind of beaten out of me, not literally. But, I did have, particularly my mum, who I adore. We couldn't be closer. But you're being childish. Be quiet at the table. If you want to make that racket, go outside. You're better than that. Look at the kids over there, much better behaved than you. And so for me, the reality is that as a child, I knew that going outdoors was the one time I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. I could be fully myself, make as much noise as I wanted to make, and no one was judging. And so later in life, that's showing up. I'm flying drones at 36 years old. I'm on a skateboard at 36 years old. Nothing more that I like doing than just going out on the grass. I got told off recently on my Instagram story because I went out in my socks. Apparently you don't do that. You've got to earth yourself. So do you know what? I took them off and I gave it a go because I've heard it many times over and I enjoyed every second of it. But the point is that there's a lot of things to think about as adults. And going back to this whole notion of most people, including probably many of you in this room, will not follow through on what you need to do to make this a success. And I'm sorry to say that, but I'd just be lying if I said you're all going to succeed, just do as we say. And so let's dig a little bit deeper in that. Why don't people follow through? We're 6 months into the year? Wasn't that long ago, was it? We were doing our January New Year resolutions. Anyone have any of those in January? Anyone not followed through? Because I know I can keep my hand up. Change is hard. And do you know what? Again, there are the anomalies, the leaders, the experts that say it's not hard, it's all up here, just do it. But I'm going to put me in the bracket of mere mortal, which is where I'd put most people. And change is hard. It's really hard. There's a lot of studies that will tell you that after the age of 25, it progressively gets harder and harder and harder. Why is that? Think about that for a minute. Why is it? Well, simply put, it's because we become animals of instinct. We do what we know. But you've heard me say this before if you pay attention to the modules, but the quality of your life is a direct reflection for the quality of your habits. In other words, we get set in our own ways. And that's actually a really serious thing to consider. We get set in our ways. Think about that. Think about the way that you think, the way that you show up for yourself. Limiting beliefs, fear, financial thermostat. Majority of your thoughts and thinking are not your thoughts and thinking. They're other people's that have been programmed into your subconscious mind, many of them being under the age of 6 years old. In other words, you don't even know what you're doing. It's just second nature. You don't even know how damaging the self-limiting beliefs, negative thinking, excuses, all things we've been talking about this morning. In other words, your excuses are so embedded within you, you don't even know you have them. They're there. They're coming up without you even realizing. And so for me, the thing that really helps us create change is things like self-awareness, understanding why things are the way they are. Because what we're able to do, the more aware we are, is bring awareness to that and make the right decision consciously, not subconsciously. So I would say for the majority of people, let's pick my age, 36 years old, we're very, very set in our ways. And I would probably say when I'm 46, 56, 66, 76, if I don't learn to change my ways progressively, I will probably get more and more and more set in my own ways. You know, statistically speaking, if we were to make our customer avatar under the age of 25, we would have more results and success in this business. Truth. And that's a big deal. Because there's no point in us saying, you can do it. Hug the person next to you. Look at them in the eyes. Tell them you're going to do it. I'm going to do it. But let's be real, will that work? Will that work?
If I believe it.
If you believe it. But the act of looking at someone in the eyes and saying you're going to do it, will it really work? In reality, no. Now, I'm all up for a bit of personal growth and self-development. I think you all know that from Module 2 and the things that we talk about. But sometimes we do need to draw the line. I went to a Tony Robbins event, I think it was February or March last year, you know. Okay. Went in there. Introvert Stuart next to some stranger. Within the first 5 minutes, I'm hugging him. Having a cuddle. Hearing his life story, sharing my life story. Couldn't be more polar opposite. Feeling super, super uncomfortable. Then we moved from that degree of uncomfortable to having to stand up to some weird music and jump around like a crazy madman. And do you know what? I'm a massive fan of Tony Robbins, I really am. I'm a real fan. I listen to his YouTube videos, his podcasts. He's got some great information and great knowledge. But my experience, and this isn't to put this or project this onto you, was this: I just want to get out of this crap. You know, I just want to know what I need to do and make it happen. And so the point I'm trying to make is there is a fine line. Not everything is going to be a right fit for you. Not everyone's approach, views, you know. Tony's whole thing is shift your state. I agree, I couldn't agree more. But I don't want to be rah-rah. I'm Stu, like it's just not my nature. I'm not here to be like rah, rah, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. I don't want it. I don't want rah-rah. I just want to do it. I just want to do it. And so the important thing here is we are all different. But if we just do what we think the guru says we have to do, but it makes us feel another way, does that make us broken? Does it make us wrong? Because I'm going to tell you, my filtering system when anyone tells me anything is bullshit. And it's the opposite way to most people, because most of us hear something and believe it. If he said it, she said it, Stu said it, Jay said it about affiliate marketing, it must be true. Thank you. Is this a hint? So let's go to this sort of conversation of filtering and information and everything else. Is like, if someone says something to me, you know, Stu, the best way to generate leads online is Facebook. Honestly, my thinking is bollocks. Until proven otherwise. But who has to see that proof? Me. I need to see that proof. And so the danger of being in a community is we're hearing all sorts of ideas and what's working and what's not working, and so many individuals in their journey of entrepreneurship and change and business take everything as fact. In other words, it's, well, I'll believe everything unless proven otherwise. And so many people spend their lives doing what such and such said to do, thinking that they must have it all wrong, but in actuality, that information was misinformation for you. And so one of the things that's really important within this journey is obviously we need to create change, but we also need to do it in many respects our own way. And that comes from action. It doesn't come from thinking. In fact, you know what? In the art of transparency here, the more personal growth I did through a period of time, the more unhappy I got. This is me, this isn't you, this is me. This is my experience. The deeper I got, you know, when I lost my father and I was, you know, at a very sort of low point, I did everything I was meant to do. I spoke to grieving counsellors, didn't really work for me. Didn't really agree with what I was hearing, tried some of it, it didn't work for me, but I tried it. But I drew a line under it. That didn't work for me. Didn't blame, wasn't angry. She's wrong, just was wrong for me. And so for me, I've had to sort of really juggle with this sort of journey in terms of what is the line for me with thinking, personal development, personal growth, and just doing. Just doing. And so I'm in personally a very good space right now. I have been for some time. But the thing that made the biggest difference for me was doing less thinking. Less thinking. You know, I'm all up for gratitude boxes, meditation, all of these things. I think they are absolutely great, and I think they have a place for probably all of us. But here's what I do want to say. If your life is a bit shitty right now, do you know what? Thank God you're feeling shitty about it. Because you don't want to think it's all right if it's not. How is it going to help you? If you're in a situation in life right now, business, relationships, life, your credit cards are in debt, things aren't going the way they want you to go, do you want to be in a place of acceptance? Or do you want to acknowledge that fact and make a difference? Because here's one thing that really helps me, is when I'm feeling shitty, when I'm in a poor place, when I'm in a bad place, is don't make me wrong for it. Life is not this. Or this. Things happen out of our control, things that we're not expecting, things are taken away from us, circumstances change. And just when we think we've figured everything out, boom. And so for me, one of the things that I think and believe has really helped me most in my journey of entrepreneurship is really getting shit done. And so back to the story I did, the grieving counsellor, I was meditating, I was doing my gratitude jar, and I had benefits from all of that stuff. But do you know, one of the things that I forgot to do was acknowledge why I was feeling shitty or why I wasn't happy or why I was in the situation I was in, and actually just get to work. Because what I found is in action, we solve a lot of our problems. You cannot go to the kitchen window and look out and say, no weeds, no weeds, beautiful tidy garden, no dog shit on the lawn. You have to go out there and pick it up. You have to pull out the weeds. And do you know what? When you go out and you do the work, how do you think you're going to feel from action? Do you know what? I did that. I did the work. I tidied the place up. I'm proud of my backyard. That's far better than meditating your way out of having dog shit all over the place. Here's my point, because you're going to hear a lot of conflicting ideas and information in your time, including from me, because I believe there's a place for all of that stuff. But I think it's really important as a community, as a culture, we have the right balance between thinking, personal growth, feeling good, gratitude, being okay with where we are, but also actually doing the freaking work. Getting down and dirty. And as I said, the thing that helps me most is there's nothing wrong with feeling shitty. It's part of life. I will be worried the day that my life is in the toilet and I can meditate my way out of it. That's when I'll be concerned. And so for all of us, it's different things that drive us. I'm at a stage in business where my biggest challenge to date, which is something I only created resolve with a few years ago, and it came back up again when I lost my father, was, here's the truth. When I was 26, what motivated me was the material gain. Thank God it did, because changing the world wouldn't have motivated me at 26. So thank God I wanted to drive an Aston Martin. Thank God I wanted to make money. Because honestly, somebody could have said all the things in the world, it will feel so good if you can do this, it will feel so good if you can do that. But if that doesn't connect, don't make yourself wrong for it. Now, we're here. Think about the brand incubator process and everything here. We're here to really help accelerate people's progress in terms of what really does matter. Because at the end of the day, I think most people that have achieved it will tell you that the material things and everything else doesn't really matter. But I'll give you an example in my own sort of material world. When I first started out, cars, massive, massive drive for me. Don't ask why. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Just accept it. Just loved cars ever since I was 4, 5, 6 years old. Matchbox cars, checking out cars, watching cars, this, that, and the other. And it was enough to get me off my arse at 26 and go for my goals. And then what happened is I hit 29, 30, started building this community at 28, started feeling and experiencing all of the things that mattered so much more. And then I started to tell myself, cars don't matter. It's just a material thing. And so then I didn't really care for my car anymore. I drove around a 5-year-old Range Rover, didn't really think about cars, wasn't really a thing for me. And then about 2 years ago, all of a sudden, this car thing came back. I was like, I love cars. And here's the striking difference for me, is when I was 24, 25, 26, 27, so much of my drive was to prove to others what I was capable of doing. The reason I wanted, number one reason why I wanted a nice car was to show you I was successful. One of the first things I would do when I buy a car is drive around the petrol stations hoping I'd see one of my mates. Put $5 of gas at every station in. It's true. But here's what happened, is I lost that care. Suddenly, I just didn't care what my school friends thought anymore. And so I didn't care for cars. But like I said, then what ended up happening is it came back and I suddenly had this fascination for cars. And do you know what? I love cars more than ever. I just went for a weekend with Ash Burley. We went to Simply Porsche in Bewley. We're driving the car, roof down. And do you know what? I enjoyed it for all the right reasons. Wind in my hair, fresh air, freedom, engine noise, boy's toy. Enjoyed it for all the right reasons. None of it mattered in terms of whether I saw my old mate from school that said I was going to be a loser. It just didn't matter. And so the point of what I'm saying here is that it's really important to know what's driving you. You can't fake that shit. If your kids are your number one motivator, be proud of that. Want to put them through the best schools? Be proud of that. Want to put them in a beautiful, stunning home? Be proud of that. Don't allow other people's opinions, perspective, views allow you to dictate where you're at in life right now. I think it goes without saying, ultimately, the goal in life is to make life less me-centric. Would you agree? But if being less me-centric isn't going to help you get out of 30 grand debt, and it isn't going to help you solve your immediate problems, then be okay with that too. It doesn't matter what program, gold, platinum, or black that you go through, what you learn and the things that you learn, it's about you filtering information. Nothing matter of fact. You know, somebody tells you data, statistics, this, that, and the other. Cool. 73% of people this. Okay, well, maybe I'm in the other percentage. Better find out. And so going back to this whole topic, why is it people don't follow through? Well, as adults, I think that we don't take enough time to be honest with ourselves and consider really what we want. That's number one. There's a reason why in Module 2 we focus so much on average ideal day. I believe in that principle so much. Why? Because it's something to aim for. Something to aim for. What's going to happen if you don't have something to aim for? My average ideal day includes no commuting, but I can earn 200 grand a year in New York City. If you don't know that your average day means no commuting, what magic bullet, silver bullet is going to come along and distract you, and then the next thing you know, you're commuting again? My average day includes doing the school run. But then another opportunity comes along that means you'll never be able to do the school run, but it will pay the bills. But you can do it. But maybe I can make that thing work. But why ever pick anything that takes you further away from where you want to be? So your average ideal day simply enables you to understand the life you want to live on an average day. It's probably less material than anything else. My average ideal day could not be more different to a few years ago. And do you know what? In a few years' time, you'll listen to me and you'll be like, that guy contradicts himself so much. Do you know why? Life is a process of evolution. I don't know what I'll say to you in a year or 2 years' time. I'll tell you my average ideal day now. I wake up 6 o'clock in the morning. I used to laugh at people that got up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Gutted. Got an alarm clock. Gutted. I can sleep in till 10 a.m. because I'm Stuart, the online marketer. But I get up at 6. Have a pint of water and a coffee. Take the dogs out into the garden. By the way, this is Summer speaking. Stu Summer speaking. This is not Stu Winter speaking. Sit out on my little bench out the front, still with my coffee in hand, watch the dogs run around. Casey gets up a little bit later than I do, comes down the stairs. No morning nookie for me. I'm an early riser these days. That could be taken either way. But I'm okay with that, because that doesn't happen to be my perfect ideal day right now. Have myself a little bit of a healthy breakfast, go into my home gym, which right now consists of about 18 minutes of exercise if I'm doing well. But I get in there, come back up, take my time, review my day, which is from the previous evening's planning. Do you know my productivity process these days? I think I talk about it in the refreshed module 2, but my majority of my productivity is this, and I'm lucky to be in this situation. What would make me feel amazing at the end of the day if I got this done? I've got to-do lists, longer than Justin Wolfe's legs put together. But the majority of my productivity is what will make me feel amazing if I get this done. Now, I'm in a luxury position to be able to do that. Now, but here's the really cool thing, is that what will make me feel amazing if I get this shit done is the stuff I know I need to get done. That's what will make me feel amazing. go out on your skateboard probably won't make me feel amazing. Deal with a client issue and know that it's done and it's been done well probably will. Apologize to someone, chase someone up, follow through, file taxes. All the stuff that you think you wouldn't want to do. I know are the things that if I get done, I'll feel great. And so it's kind of, again, it's like this reverse way of looking at a to-do list and thinking, here's the good stuff, here's the bad stuff. And some days, there are days where I'm just too exhausted to do the stuff that I don't feel like doing. And so do you know what? They're the days I'm like, I think I'll feel great if I take the dogs out, go out on my skateboard, speak to my mum, have a drive around with the roof down. And do you know what? I'm very blessed to be in a situation that I can do that most days. It's very unusual that I can't do the things that I want to do. But the more plugged in you get into your vision and your mission and why you're doing what you're doing and all the things that we discuss, the more likely the things that you know you need to get done are going to be on that list anyway. Your to-do list shouldn't be something that you resist. And we're going to explore that. We're going to explore that in a much deeper level because what I want to do is give you some form of gift, if you like, today, in terms of feeling that you've got a lot more clarity in terms of what you need to do right now to go to that next level. So one of the first things is once you start to identify the day that you want to live, the average ideal day, what we've established is not the life that consists of means to an end, but it's a life where we can start to focus on our end goals now. And what I found is, call it law of attraction, magic of the universe, or just divine intention, the more awareness I bring to the life that I want to live is in right now, magically somehow I start living more of that life now. And do you know what? The more aware you are of the life you want and how you want your life to look like, and the more that you do that life, the more opportunities show up that are congruent with the life you want to live. But how many things do you think are going to show up for you in life by doing something that you really don't want to be doing, ignoring everything that you do want to do, but going tonight, every night, watching The Secret? Lamborghini, Lamborghini, Lamborghini. Congruency is so critical in this journey. And so I'm going to challenge you again. Think back to your average ideal day exercise, which some of you might have thought in the beginning stages when you first did that, this is a waste of time. I just want to learn Facebook ads. If it was just about Facebook ads, why are there so many struggling Facebook advertisers? If it was just about data, computer engineering, and being good at computer design, why wouldn't they be all the millionaires? Like most of the things that we think matter don't matter. Because let's say, for example, there's some of you in this room right now who are resisting to building your website, and you're complaining and moaning and you're whinging in terms of how hard technology is. Do you know what? If you're not really plugged in with your true purpose and why, every little frustration, everything that annoys you is going to be magnified because there's no real motivation to do it. If you're there, I need to build a website because Mr. Ross says, you're not going to ever get results in your online business. Whereas if you're so in touch with your reasons why and what you're doing, you will do anything. You know, one of the things I think people struggle with a lot, being in the entrepreneur space, serving entrepreneurs, business people, particularly startup entrepreneurs. My friends that I've been in this industry with for years think I'm mad wanting to help newbies over existing business owners. Because they've all done the newbie thing and they've said it's too much freaking baggage. You know, they say, Stu, you can go and find a business that's making 20 grand a month, tell them what you need to know, teach them what you need to know. You've built a business that does multi-millions a month. They're going to listen to you. They're going to apply what you tell them to do, and they're going to get results without you even having to think about it. Because they've already done so much of the hard work that we're talking about. But I know where my mission and vision lies. And it's not even about entrepreneurship. It's about launching you. It's about you changing a direction in your life from where you are right now and figuring out where you want to go. I don't want to help people that are already killing it, crushing it. It's just not my purpose. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm so much more passionate about being a pattern interrupt in someone's life who's kind of got a few things wrong. And I don't care if it takes me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years with our team to help them get it right. It's worth it. And yes, we're going to see people come and go. And yes, we're going to see people not follow through, and less people follow through than what they ordinarily would if they already had this magic successful online business where they can just make a few subtle tweaks. But as in the video we just saw, a big part of what we're doing is that you're not alone. And the more we upskill and the more we get good at what we do and the more resources we have as a community and the more ideas and the better we get at what we do, the more valuable we'll be to the marketplace. And I actually do believe this market of transitioning people from traditional ways of thinking, sheep thinking, into the new way, the digital way, the modern way, the future way. If we want to talk money and business, I think there's way more opportunity there anyway. And I happen to just be that bit more passionate about helping people change the course of their lives far more. So that's my clarity. That's not your clarity. Your clarity needs to be your clarity. Maybe that involves online marketing. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it involves an online business. Maybe it doesn't. And so I want to challenge you as you leave and as you go back, before you do another ad or a campaign or a blog or a post, to do a few things. And we're going to talk about some steps of what I think you should do, considering that most of you in this room put your hand when I said you haven't made your first sale and this is your first event. We're going to treat this as kind of newbie rules. And for those of you who, maybe been to a few events but still not quite crushing it, let's treat this as a bit of a reset. But I'm going to warn you, is I do believe that success and business is more of an art than it is a science, which is good because I'm going to make a lot of this stuff up as we go along. So I don't know how many steps we're going to end up with necessarily, but we're going to figure this out.